Can you guess what I'm doing? I'm putting black pepper around the yard to keep elephants away from the house. Around here we have a lot of deer who like to sleep in the yard and sit and play on the drive. They're cute and lovely, nice to look at, but they do a good bit of damage too. Deer are one thing, but elephants? Well, they're rather larger and I don't need those around here, so I'm putting down black pepper to keep them away. Hello, my name is Ian Currey and this is Thinking Out Loud. No, I haven't lost the plot. Today I've been thinking about logic and how we make up our minds about things. Come on, let me tell you what I think. Hello, welcome back. If you enjoy these videos, don't forget to share the link with your friends. Oh, and subscribing helps too. Now, where were we? Oh yes, logic. What is logic? Well, the dictionary will tell you it's just a proper way of thinking or reasoning. That sort of makes sense, I suppose. And yes, technical pun intended. The trouble with logic is that you can arrive at all sorts of conclusions simply by missing one or two pieces of vital data, or just not starting in the right place with your thinking in the first place. I started this video telling you I was putting black pepper around the house to keep away elephants. Silly, right? Well, perhaps not. Let me give you the argument. Now, most of you have already heard this kind of logic many times over before, especially if you have young children around or you're a parent. It's not long before you come across it, but bear with me. And yes, there's more chance of bears around here than elephants, but that's another dad joke, and I'm really on a roll today, aren't I? Okay, back to our pepper and elephants. The argument goes like this. I've never seen an elephant around here, and so black pepper, the black pepper I put around the house, must keep them away. So it's working. Now you might say, well, that's just silly. There are no elephants anywhere near here. And I'll say, well, that just shows the pepper works. Well, you need to stop. It's silly. There are no elephants. Well, pepper isn't expensive. It's just not a risk I'm willing to take. Elephants would do so much damage. If what I'm doing is the reason they aren't here, then I'd be a fool to stop. Eventually, you and I would differ, and one of several things might happen. You might decide I was a little crazy, but nice enough, and so accept me as your friend. But you know, you would not be able to have any meaningful conversations since I have a kink in my think, as it were. Or you might decide I need sorting out and insist I put the pepper away. You might get into an argument and I might say it's my right to put pepper down if I want to. That would end badly, wouldn't it? Or perhaps you might decide I was just too silly for you and our friendship would diminish until it ended. I might get lonely and find other people who think pepper keeps elephants away from their houses, and so we'd become friends instead. Now, all this might sound very silly, and it is, of course. True logic would need to take into account a lot of simple things that I would be overlooking entirely. Are there actually elephants to repel? Of course not. Are elephants actually affected by pepper? Well, it might make them sneeze, I suppose, and that could do some serious damage too, couldn't it? Sadly, a much more common solution these days to friendship or not is me, the pepper spreader, to write you off as crazy because you don't go along with my way of thinking. But here's the thing. Both you and I both think our point of view is right. Fact-checking. That's what we need, fact-checking. So where do we go to check facts? Now, obviously, these days we use the internet, and so Google search elephants and pepper. And believe it or not, you will find a story there that has farmers in Africa putting chili peppers as a buffer crop or barrier crop around their farms to keep elephants at bay. You really can find anything on the internet these days. Obviously, this still doesn't confirm my nonsensical theory, but somehow, because of that grain of truth, you start to think, well, perhaps there is something to all of this. Of course, this silly scenario can be forced on and on and on, can't it? So often, though, we will accept things that we believe as fact because many of our friends believe the same thing. People like us believe what we believe, and we can show data that backs up our point of view. We must be right, right? Being open-minded will have people tell you things like, oh, you're just being gullible, or you're so open-minded your brain fell out. So what is true? What is truth? How on earth do we know? Sadly, most people really don't seem to want to know. We're just happy to accept the way things are, and we'll fight for that point of view whenever necessary. At this point, I'd like you to think of something that you believe and ask you how you know that something is true. Now, do you really believe your powers of logic and deduction are so stunningly good that you have it exactly right? Who do you trust? Do you really trust whoever it is that's telling you whatever it is true? What is your basis for having the fact in your mind as truth? Have you ever changed your mind on something that you just knew to be true? I mean, if I had asked you 10 years ago to make a list of things that you believed, and we did that again today, has anything on that list changed? Yes? I hope so. We must be continually open to new ideas, to change, to being wrong, but also to knowing what is true and stable. Reading the writings of James the other day, I noticed a few sentences there that might help. James starts off by saying, "So don't be misled, my dear brothers and sisters." Well, that's easier said than done, isn't it? Whatever is good and perfect is a gift coming down to us from God, our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. He never changes or casts a shifting shadow. I love that shifting shadow comment there. Seeing things in a different light can change how we perceive something, but not with God. He's the one constant, unshifting source of truth, isn't he? But this next sentence is the one that helped me a very long time ago. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Good advice there, isn't it? Listen and don't get angry. Logic, though, in and of itself isn't bad. No, not at all, of course not. But be aware that sometimes you are missing something and may have been told something that isn't true at all. Maybe, just maybe, you're finding ways to defend a false position on something that is simply wrong. My challenge to you today is to question something you believe. It won't hurt. A view you have, an idea that people you know don't agree with you about. Could it be that you're wrong? No? Really? Well, I've learned something today. Pepper isn't the reason I don't have elephants around my house. But I wonder, could it be the reason that I have deer? Perhaps it's attracting them. Perhaps. Until next time, goodbye.